My top, Tampa Bay, let's roll, it's game day. Rays on the diamond, bolts in the sky, Bucks on the goal line, Bulls ride or die. From the tailgate talk to the bright field glow, you know where to go. It's the JP Peterson Show.
And here I am. Yes, I have emerged from North Carolina, the beautiful lakes and mountains of God's country, to be back here in this sweltering hole of Florida that we do here during the summer. This is why half of Tampa lives in North Carolina during the summer, and I don't really blame them. But it's getting close to football season, kids. It's getting close. What is it? We Bucks open camp later this month, like in a few weeks, and we've got football games coming up in about a month away, about 6-7 weeks away. Football games. Woo! So we are back and ready to roll. Thank you guys for tuning in last week. I hope you missed me. I doubt it, but I hope that you missed me.
I think we learned very quickly. We learned very quickly on the Big O show about 5 minutes in how much everybody missed you, JP.
Yeah, like zero.
As speculation ran rampant about where you really were, and if NC North Carolina was code, as Rick postulated, was code for you being out on Stu's yacht with him, hanging out all week.
Can you imagine? Can you only imagine how that would go?
I can imagine that, yeah.
I'm still waiting on the invite.
I need the selfies. I need all the selfies.
There's John Hill's in this morning already. I saw him sitting in the big leather seats while I was in North Carolina watching Rays baseball. His big mug right behind home plate there. I saw you, John Hill. Hope you enjoyed all that, the Longo festivities this weekend. And yes, the big brown Cuban will be joining us at 10:30 to talk all things baseball.
That big brown Cuban.
Yeah, the Orestes Destrade will join us. Big weekend for the Rays and Longo, so we'll get into that. Our good friend Evan Klosky from Tampa Bay 10 got a sneak peek at the Netflix series Quarterback and Baker Mayfield, and some very interesting things to talk about there. And Timmy, I will say this. We were all over it during the season. I mean, there's a lot in there, but we talked extensively about how Baker looked like he was injured and things were not, and that's the reason his play declined in my mind. Mm-hmm. But it does, I think, and I haven't seen it. Evan's seen it. He's going to join us tomorrow. But I think it's exactly what we really thought that it was this was a lack of preparedness of the backup quarterback. So we'll get into that. And where does that lie? Squarely on the shoulders of the coaching staff and the organization. We're going to talk about that. So we'll get into a little football talk today as well. The Rays draft, and Orestes and I are we're in lockstep on this. We both believe they missed an incredible opportunity to draft the catcher of the future. At the same time, Nathan Flewelling, their catcher of the future, was winning the MVP of the Futures game, which may suggest why they did not draft a catcher. And I totally get that, but we'll get into that a little bit more. And I want to talk some World Cup as well. I watched a lot of World Cup over the weekend. And it's interesting how us casual fans now have become such experts on the game. And we're arguing about strategy. The England team is arguing with itself. They're yelling at their manager. I mean, that's fantastic as well. So we're getting a little slice of what the world goes through all the time in soccer and football, their game, their passionate game. And I like it. And I really, I'm probably going to follow it closer, I think. But I say that now in the middle of summer, but when football season starts up, I will not know where Erling Haaland is anywhere on this planet. I will have no idea where he is or who he plays for. That's probably true. But at this time, I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued. I wonder if you guys are as well. So whatever y'all want to talk about, of course, most importantly, how much you miss me, bring that up in the comments, and we'll certainly get to that. That's a no. All right, so Longo weekend. First and foremost, Timmy, I don't know how much you got to see of this. I watched. All of it. Yeah. I wish I could have been there, but it was so expertly done. And I want to give a lot of credit to the Rays new ownership group. I mean, the things that they have done in this for this franchise have just been staggering, even beyond my expectations. My expectations were really high, but it's at moments like this when you do things that you don't have to do, that it really shows what kind of organization you are. Right. Listen, and I know of what I speak. I've worked for the Lightning for 11 years. Okay. And I've seen the level of detail that they go to when Coop wins his, plays or coaches his 1,000th game, when Stamkos has a milestone, when Kucherov has a milestone, and the things that they do, the details, the videos, the things they do for the families, bringing in Tantric live to do his walk-up song. I mean, that costs money. Okay. And it's not necessarily like, oh, Tantric's going to be there. They're going to sell X amount more tickets. Right. It's just, are we going to do it the right way? Or are we going to just throw some shit together? Right. Like they did last year for Longo. This was top-notched, absolutely perfect. And you heard Evan say it probably 20 times. Cannot thank the organization enough for the way they've done this. No detail was overlooked. Just amazing. And that just shows you the quality of the organization and what they're committed to. And as we go through this, through the next few weeks are going to be crucial in terms of the stadium deal. And listen, I've said all the time that I'm very confident that it's going to get done. It's not done. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that push back. Oh, they showed the renderings, and I was the first one to say it. They're very confident it's going to get done. They picked the contractor, but it's not done. And I totally recognize that. But I also feel very confident that it's going to get done. But it is true that it's not done yet. So there's still some hurdles to cross. And until they are crossed, we can't say, right? Like I need to be telling you people this, right? Until there's shovels in the ground, we're not going to count. Even when this is passed, right? Now, again, I don't think it's anything like the St. Pete deal because this is a different ownership group. And that is my point. This is a way different situation. Even when that thing passed in St. Pete, I told you they're not going to build it. They're not going to build it. And this group, because of that was because of previous ownership. This group are committed to getting it done. And, because there's a lot of money for them to be made. And there's a lot of money for businesses, for the college. I mean, we've talked about the massive community benefits of this project, which, by the way, is being recognized around the state, around the globe. I read, articles over the week about what's going on in Tampa Bay and how this place is exploding, and it's becoming the hot spot for all young kids to move to, kids coming out of college. Tampa Bay is exploding in that realm. And it's, you see it a lot on social media, but you just in regular media as well, in business media. And this deal is really a linchpin to that. And I think the incoming mayor, Bob Buckhorn, we believe who it's going to be, Bob Buckhorn, the sitting councils, they understand this. They very much understand this. So Longo weekend was absolutely a kind of a litmus test a little bit, Timmy, to what this ownership group is all about and how they do things publicly in this manner for a legend of their franchise and embracing their past, which is something else that they've never really done in a meaningful way. And they did that with Evan Longoria, their first star, their legacy. And I think this is a hint to where this is going. They want, Ken Babby is a lifetime baseball person. And I love the fact that the Father's Day tribute that Romano wrote was absolutely fantastic. We've told you those stories when he's been on our show. Yeah. We've talked about his upbringing and his father being the counsel for the Orioles and watching Camden Yards be built and how this, in embracing the Orioles history and understanding what that means to a fan base and growing a fan base, right? When you're tapping into that nostalgia, that's fathers taking their sons to the Evan Longoria game. Hey, getting the bobblehead. That kid's a lifelong Rays fan, right? That's an indelible mark on him. That's how you build franchises, when you care about these type of things and you go out into the community and you grassroots this thing. I watched the Lightning do it, and the Rays are using that template to a T. And Ken and I have talked about this. We've talked about it on our show, right? Is like, this is not, we don't need to reinvent the wheel here. Move the team to the center of the market, build an iconic stadium, create a fantastic fan experience, pay homage to your history, and really tap into your fan base. And that's exactly what the Lightning did. Get out into the community, and that's exactly what the Rays are doing. And it was manifested and personified this weekend with the Evan Longoria Longo weekend. No detail was overlooked. The fans came out. It was absolutely fantastic. And I tip my cap, my Rays cap that I'm wearing today, to Longo. I was listening to his interview he did with Brian Anderson and Dwayne, and it was so, it was really good about how, and by the way, I love the fact they went right through the commercial breaks and just had a nice long conversation with Evan, once again, foregoing some profit to do the right thing. Great sign. Yeah. And Longo talked about, being anxious, every time he came to the plate and wanted to be a pro and doing things the right way. And we heard Joe Madden talk about this last week when he came on with us about Longo's pedigree from Long Beach State and how those coaches, really, really taught the game well. And Madden said what a big fan he is of Long Beach State and those guys over there. And that's where, Longo got his love for the game and understanding how the work ethic has to be a daily thing in the game of baseball to keep that muscle memory, to become a great player. And he was such and it's no coincidence that, his rookie year, he was the rookie of the year, and the Rays went to the World Series. Now, to Joe's point last week on the show, yes, they brought in some great veterans, and Eric Kinski and Cliff Floyd and those guys and Percival. And that really, really kind of put them over the top in that nice mix of youth and experience, which, by the way, if they had a couple of players like a Ketel Marte and, maybe another pitcher here or there, that's something that you can see in this team. And we'll get to this in a little bit as well, that magic can happen again. This team right now is obviously shocking a lot of people, including myself. And they've shown some durability, which is important. But that's why I look at this whole weekend, and if you're a Rays fan, it just tells you so much about the future of this franchise. Number one, we're going to tap into the history. We're going to bring these guys back, and this new ballpark is not just going to be a place where they play baseball. It's going to be a place where we celebrate baseball and family and community and bringing everybody together. Again, we can't say this enough. This is not just about baseball. It's about the community and the community. What better way to bring the community together, as we saw this weekend, which, by the way, it wasn't a sellout, but getting 25,000 people out to the ballpark in July when most people do go on vacation and leave and, all these, it's not easy. I thought the crowds were great. I thought the energy was fantastic. And I thought they did a great job. But you look at this team at the break, Timmy, 56-38, 3 games above 500. That gives you a 98% chance of making the playoffs. Now, obviously, if I'm the Rays, I'm not ever mentioning this, making the playoff stuff. You're winning the division. You are focused wholly on winning the division, skipping the wild card round. That's how you go deep in the playoffs, by definition, right? You cannot be there should not be one scintilla, a brain wave used on, let's just make the playoffs. No. You want to dominate the second half, go on a run, another run, and run away with this division. That should be your mentality because that's how you're playing the game. And the Yankees are hurt. They're going to get better. I get it. But you are too. I think the Rays are going to get better. I think there's a lot of, as well as they played, you can see in the run differential and other metrics, there's room for growth. There's room for growth. Now, someone else would say, yeah, I look at their metrics and I say there's room for pullback to the mean. I think if we were at the 1/3 poll, a smaller sample size, you might be able to say that. But this far into the season, this is what this team does. They go out and they pitch like a son of a bitch, and they play good defense, and they know how to win close games. And they're getting really good relief pitching, especially in the clutch. So as I look at this team, there is no reason that this team should not win the AL East and be the favorite to win the pennant and get to the World Series. This should be your expectations. Now, to do that, you're going to have to make some moves, and they're going to have to be significant. And we'll get into that a little bit later on with Big O. But Timmy, I'm curious on your thoughts on, from the outside looking into from the national perspective, what do you see in this Rays team? Is this a team that has staying power in the second half?
So there's two things I want to address here. Number one, it's the Longoria festivities. And I think, look, aside from what's happening on the field, from the standings, from the number of players you're sending to the All-Star game, and we'll get into with Big O, I think the way the Longoria weekend, the Longoria festivities were presented and handled by the organization tells you a lot about what you can look as a Rays fan forward to in the coming years under the new ownership group. You can tell that they're now committed to their team and they're committed to the fan base, because they didn't do this just for the organization. They did this for Evan, and they did this for the fans. Everything they did was fan presentation oriented from what I can see. And, there's a lot of guys that Rays fans can look at, as far as legends in the organization, but I would hazard a guess Evan Longoria is probably at the top of that list. So you're treating your Tampa Bay Devil Rays royalty to this honor, that they bestowed upon him, retiring his number, his family there, everything. And all this stuff, I didn't get to see all of it on TV. They didn't show all of it here, but from what I got to see that they showed, it was done. It was very classy, and it was done the right way to honor maybe your greatest player, your most fan favorite player for sure. And I think that gives you a little peek into this new ownership group and the way they're going to handle things like this moving forward. All right. They're dedicated not just to the winning, because that's on the field. They're dedicated to just continuing the class organization that they should have had for a longer time, but we all know that wasn't the case. And it really does give you, I think, a peek into how things are going to be handled moving forward. That said, you also have the excitement of the record of 5 guys going to the All-Star game now, with Cy Martinez being named to the All-Star game. And in Big O and I talked about this on Friday. This year's culture of America, the American League just absolutely sucks. Why not the Rays? So far, the Rays have proven in this first half of the season,
right,
they're the class of the American League.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not like they've stayed 100% healthy either through this first half. They've overcome a few injuries, and they've had some setbacks. They've had some losing streaks. It's not like it's been all sunshine and rainbows for this thing the first half.
There's help on the way.
And there is more help on the way. So, yeah, I mean, you better be excited if you're a Rays fan about this. Look, I get it. You're going to probably undergo another couple of slumps in the next month and a half, 2 months. That's okay. This team has already proven in the first half that they can overcome those things, that they have the depth. And again, there's help still coming that you didn't have available in the first half that's going to help secure some of that depth. And if you're still one of these people that are like, oh, well, they're the Rays, I know what's coming. It's about to happen. Yeah. You know what? You are doing yourself a disservice. All right. You're only hurting yourself. because the rest of us are on board and we're enjoying the ride. Because so far, who's the biggest threat to the Rays in the American League? I don't even mean the division. I mean the American League. It's the Yankees.
Yeah.
All right. And they're a mess right now. I mean, they're an absolute mess right now. And not just on the field. There's stuff going on. Boone's under so much fire. It's New York. Okay. You expect that from Yankees fans.
Yep.
But yeah, no, if you are not excited about the Rays and you're looking forward to the on the field this second half, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? Not the rest of us. You're just hurting yourself because we're going to enjoy the ride.
That's well put, partner. And as you were saying that, I wrote down this. I said marketing. We have never been through a Rays run where the ownership group actively markets to the run, because Stu never did that. I mean, this is Ken Babby now as a major league team, a marketer extraordinaire of Minor League Baseball, right? And he's going to, embrace this. He's going to listen. He knows football season is coming, but he's got a team that is rocking the Major League Baseball world. Everybody's talking about the Rays now. You turn on MLB tonight, they love the Rays. They love the Rays. They love talking about them. They love it. And he is going to capitalize on this. And we're going to see a groundswell, I think, in this fan base that is just going to embrace this team, which is such a likable and rootable group of guys. I mean, my Lord. I think we're going to see an explosion of Rays games and big crowds and everything going on, where this is going to be a crazy ride. If we can keep this going and if they can get the vote done, which we'll talk about in a little bit, the whole momentum, as I said, like a couple weeks ago, this could be the greatest season in Rays history. And that is not, at one point, when I first said that, people were like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm like, think about it. Get the deal done, which right there, you could be in last place. And once you get a stadium done, you can say that's the greatest season of Rays. But wait, there's more. Junior Caminero was rewriting the history books. He could be the MVP. We've never had an MVP.
Yeah.
We could win the American League East with this group. We could get to the World Series. And listen, I understand the Dodgers and some really good teams in the National League, but if the vote passes and they have some cost certainty on moving forward on new revenues, well then, that opens up a lot of opportunities to bring in a Ketel Marte, or maybe even a Skubal, or maybe both. And then you go on, you could get a stadium, you could get to the World Series, you could win the World Series, you could have an MVP. Yeah, I think that might be the greatest season in Rays history. All of this is not pie in the sky, any of it. In fact, a lot of it is quite likely. The vote's going to pass, in my opinion. Junior, I think, has a great shot at being the MVP. This team, the way they're playing and the additions that they may add, they should win the AL East. Yeah, and you got Jacob Melton on the way, who is a power hitting outfielder. You've got relief help on the way, and then you can go out and add some players. So there's tons of room for growth for this team that's 18 games over 500. So, I mean, how could you not be more excited about this baseball team? And here's the other part of it. I hate to keep harping on this, but it just is true that there is a new feeling of you can root for this team without going, oh, yeah, but I know that owner. I just hate supporting this owner. That's gone. It's all gone. And I told you that was going to open up a whole new feeling for this fan base. And I think we've seen it over the weekend. I think we've seen it all year long. Attendance is up, 20%, 25%? I mean, that's dramatic. And more to come. And I want to get to this Jimmy J. Voyager super chat, $50. That's pretty awesome, brother. We really appreciate that. Said, I was at the game yesterday, thanks to tickets provided by Ken Babby.
Wow.
Cannot thank him enough for his amazing support of our community, and cannot thank him enough for memories with my dad and the joy I saw in his eyes yesterday. Bro, that's what it's all about right there. That's what it's all about. And Ken gets it. He gets it. and by extension, this ownership group, and by extension, this franchise. And we are so freaking lucky that they put this group together who really loves Tampa Bay, wants to make it their permanent home, these owners. And the things that I have always thought about baseball in this market and doing it right for the first time and what that could unlock are coming true. And, tarps off, it just, all of it. The magic is returning to Tropicana Field. And it's special. It's special, special time. And I hope you guys embrace it like you should. And speaking of that, Jimmy J and the rest of you Petermans, we are hosting an all-star game watch party tomorrow. We were trying to get some things going with subscribing to the channel, but screw that. If you want to come, just let me know. It's at the studio.
I want to come.
Yep. Well, I wish you would, but you refuse to get on an airplane.
I do.
You could fly here, by tomorrow.
Impossible.
Yeah. So we want you guys, you are all invited. I just need to know who's coming. So put it in the comments if you're coming, or you guys just email me, jp@thejppetersonshow.com, jp@thejppetersonshow.com, and let me know if you're coming. We're going to have Riveters wings. The beer will be flowing. Drinks will be flowing. We're going to do some dogs on the grill, baseball fair. We're going to watch the All-Star game, watch our 5 All-Stars and home run derby tonight with Junior Caminero. We're going to have a great time. We're going to open up the studio, do a little special recording, maybe a live broadcast. We're going to watch the game together, all of the Petermans. So you guys are all invited, and I'd love to see all you regulars get out of your house and get your ass down. We're it's 3707 West Carmen Street. I'll put out all the stuff on social media so you guys can show up. Just let me know if you're coming. All right.
You need to have a password to get in, though.
Yes.
You keep the riffraff out. You need to have a password.
What do you think the password should be?
Tim is king.
I will strike that.
How about JP All Pro?
How about we love Ken Babby?
Right,
how about that?
Right.
Any of the above? Any of the above will work, by the way. So, all right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side, and Big O's going to join us. We're going to talk all things baseball. I want to get to the Baker Mayfield stuff, which is really, really interesting. The Rays draft we're going to talk about, which I'm not very happy about. If there's one thing I could be pissed. I mean, I'm not mad about it, but
I'll talk you off the ledge, JP. I'll talk you off the ledge.
All right. I need that. And we'll talk some World Cup and whatever else you guys want to bring. Oh, the renderings of the new stadium. We got to get to that. Stadium vote coming up. We'll get to that. So lots more coming your way. We are brought to you by the great folks at Pitch Roofing, pitchroofing.com. We'll see Bill Slover and his group tomorrow at the All-Star Watch Party. So looking forward to that. You need to get them over to your house so he can look at that. In fact, they can actually do a remote estimate on your house. All you got to do is give them a call. Go to their website, pitchroofing.com. Email them or call them. They can actually do it by satellite, believe it or not, and check out your roof. But it's much better to come over and look at it in person, meet your roofer. It's all free, and find out what they're all about. They'll educate you about the roofing process, find out how much longer the life is in your roof, or if you have any damage. Pitchroofing.com, 5-star reviews across the board. Great folks over there. So get that free estimate and get the JP discount as well. All right, quick break. Big O, when we come back, stay with us.
Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service you get, $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back with more do you want. The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We're so thankful to have our great advertisers like the great folks at Riveters. That'll be the place to watch the semifinals and finals of the World Cup coming up. We went out there for the USA game last week or whatever it was, a week and a half ago. Absolutely tremendous atmosphere to watch games, and not just World Cup games, Rays games as well. They are one of the Rays watch party partners. They give away merchandise, and they have happy hour during every Rays game where you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas, food specials as well. You cannot beat it. It's Riveters Tampa, just north of 275, right there on Dale Mabry and south of the stadium, just south of where the new stadium is going to be, where all the construction workers are going to be eating at Riveters time and time again. And right across the street at Boda as well, their Mexican restaurant, which is kind of fast food takeout. But not fast food at all. It is great Mexican. If you like Mexican, Boda is the place to go, right across from Riveters. Fantastic taco specials for lunch. Fresh food, really, really good. So check it out. That's Boda as well. All right, let's bring in our good friend and superstar in the Japanese League, a MLB.
But
Everything, his resume.
That big brown Cuban.
He is the big brown Cuban, Orestes Destrade. Knows a little something about home run derby. What's up, Big O? How are you, my friend?
Doing great, guys. You got me? You got me for sure?
Yep, we got you. We can hear you
All
loud
right,
and
good.
clear.
All right.
You've never looked better. You've never looked better on our show.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I was just driving around this beautiful Tampa Bay, and but I definitely wanted to pop in and talk a little baseball and what a great weekend it was. What a great, exciting home run derby. And obviously we're going to host a nice little shindig over here at Kingmakers tomorrow night for the actual All-Star game. But you know, it starts and ends with the Longo weekend, and it was quite the exciting bash. Well done. Applause to the great new ownership that is led by Ken Babby, and what a nice honor and job. Everything was first class. And just from Friday, Saturday, leading into obviously the you know, putting up that number 3 up in the banners right next to the great Don Zimmer.
Yeah, you know, well, I talked a lot about that in the first segment about what it says about this ownership group and how they've really brought this fan base together. I love the fact that they're embracing their nostalgia, their legacy. I know you know, we're about 30 years old, right? But this club does have a great history to it, and it's special to the people and the Rays fans here. We've watched them grow up. I've covered every season, and I just love the way this ownership group is bringing it all together. And Longo is such a great representative of this franchise, the way he played the game. And Big O, you could talk to this, you know, because you were the same way. You respected the game. You worked your ass off. You knew it was hard, and you never, you know, it's just there's a respect for the game with guys like that you have to be great in this game, right? You just can't. Look, there's a lot of talented players, but you just can't go out there and just, you know, rely on your athleticism. You got to work your ass off. And I think Longo is absolutely the personification of that type of ball player. Would you agree?
Dramatically. I think it was very well said by Tom Foley, the longtime third base coach, bench coach. He was the director of the minor leagues. You know, Tom Foley, next to Joe Madden, knows the Rays as well as anybody, and the way that he explained and talked about how Longo prepared, and how he was the type of guy that would come in and go, "Hey, my legs don't feel right. I you know, I feel like I need some extra work." The stories of how he took on spring training and would, you know, would want the guys to do extra work, get there earlier, don't have a later start. You know, winners get there and go, you know, get there early, stay late. Longo had that, you know, and my experiences with him, because I caught him right in the middle of, you know, when I came back from ESPN back in 11, the storied year of that incredible 162 landing home run in 2011, when they made that incredible comeback to make it in the wild card and oust Boston out. It was a pleasure to cover him, because that was only basically his third year in, or 08, 9, 10, 11. It was his fourth year. And what I really appreciated his work ethic. Now, he had great hand-eye coordination and tools, great footwork, but he pushed it, JP, and he pushed it to the limits, and he got the most out of himself. He would get in little slumps, and I did many a breakdown, and I'm sure you remember back in the day when we were doing, you know, the Rays Live, and we would do so many breakdowns and demos, and I would get into the fact that it was so reminiscent. It is reminiscent, because they are now lockstep together with the future, you know, 10-year plus potential player in Junior Caminero. Interestingly, is a third baseman, and works his butt off, you know. But it's interesting when I watch Junior now, and then I remember Longo when he would just get in trouble because he tried to do too much to carry that team in the you know, 10, 11, 12, and the years beyond, 10 years there. He would get out of his zone, and then he would get in trouble. But when he would come back into his zone, my God, he was a run producer. Now, you know, not a 40-plus homer guy, but a 90 to 100 RBI guy. And then defensively, that's where Junior has to step up a little bit. I think he will. I think he has the talent for it. But Longo was something special. And then personally, he was kind of a quiet, shy guy, not big on giving interviews, but you knew that he loved the area, loved the community, loved his fans, loved his players, and they showed it, by the affection that of all the things that people are saying about him. So phenomenal weekend for Longo. He deserves it. Him and his family. His kids are so big now. I hadn't seen them in a while.
I know.
His daughter is as tall as his wife, and oh my God. So really special when you can have something like that. I was very blessed back in 2018 that my old team, the Cebu Lions, did something similar for me. And I'm only one of 4 guys in their Ring of Honor, the only foreigner, and 38,000 fans showed up for the big Ode Day. It's not Big O Day. They call me Ode over there. There's only one O in Japan, and that's our side of our O. So there's Big Ode Day, and it's just the feel that you have with your family, and the reality that you did something worthwhile, both on and off the field, is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, for going through something like that, the details are important, and you saw that with this weekend with Longo, right? And what does that tell you about the ownership group?
Well, everything was dramatic. First of all, again, last year they did something, but again, they were displaced from the tribe,
right?
So it was very difficult to do something too dramatic. Hats off to Sternberg. They tried to do a little something, and but it was, this was the real deal. When you have the big jumbotron always showing, the number 3 and his history, and the videos and all the specials that they had for people to be able to get to the game, the discounted tickets, everything was just done perfectly. I love the fact that they did it over a period of really Saturday, Sunday, but including Friday, but really Saturday and Sunday. So it was something where you could get into a love fest, and I just thought it was wonderful. I mean, you end up, you show the picture right there. That was apropos, bro, because that's Tucker McFall. Tucker McFall has been one of the longest standing cameramen at Tropicana Field. I dare I say, probably, I don't want to date Tucker, but I want to say at least 15, maybe 20 years that Tucker has been filming the greatest, moments of Rays history. And Jonathan Aranda, even though in a losing effort, hits a home run where the 162 landing, and Tucker ends up catching it. I sent him a text. I've been friends with Tucker for years, and he's such a huge Rays fan, fan, and I sent him a text. I go, "You're the man." But that's a great picture right there of showing, something that is so appropriate to remember that day. By the way, that day, at that period of time in 2011, I was actually fortunate enough that I was doing double duty. JP, you can appreciate this. I was doing the pregame and postgame in English, obviously. But the end game, I was doing Spanish TV. So I'd run from, left field from where we did the pregame. Actually, at that time, it was at a studio set up in center field. And I'd do the game, and then I'd run back and do the postgame. So I was fortunate enough to actually call in Spanish that incredible home run that won the comeback from 7-0. All the way to tie it, and then Longo, the great Dan Johnson home run with 2 outs in the 9th. It was one of, and I've called a few games. That's not really been my forte. My forte has been more, studio, analysis. But I've had the fortune to call a few cool games, and that obviously stands as
that's awesome.
The epitome for my career, because I'll never forget yelling out that "Se fue," which means it's gone in Spanish, and so that, Tucker was there for that, catches that ball, there's some great things. That picture right there, the reason I think it's special, by the way, JP, and who these people are, right to the left, she's standing and he's sitting, and that is Jack and Mary Critchfield. And again, another one of those apropos moments of this weekend. Why is it appropriate? You got the 162 landing, ball get hit. That's where he hit it. And then you have Jack and Mary Critchfield, who are the royalty of Rays baseball, Devil Rays baseball. Jack Critchfield was one of the key guys to get baseball here in Tampa Bay. He was very, involved in the procurement with Vince Damoli of getting that team back in 1998. He was actually close and involved with the other chances that we had. Chicago, obviously the San Francisco Giants, those fell through. But that's why Jack Critchfield, if you're ever watching a Rays game and it's the center field angle, just look a little bit to the left. They have the number 1 and number 2 seats and the black seats there forever. And and I love those two human beings, and it fits that Longo's waving proudly and they're right behind him.
All right,
let me ask you guys something real quick. As we celebrate Evan Longoria weekend, you guys have been around here for a long time. Other than the obvious, what's your favorite Longo memory of his playing? And it doesn't have to be on the field; it could be something else.
Go ahead, O.
JP. Well, I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you mine. My memories, again, are not on the field. There's so many great exploits that he did. Obviously, the 162, incredible plays defensively. It's really before the games. And I'd be walking on the field and, feeling it out because I'm getting ready to go up to go do a pregame show to talk about what's happened and what's to come. That's basically, your magazine pregame show, right? And it just always stood out with me. He'd be one of the guys that'd be out there earliest. And he'd be doing these drills at third base with Tom Foley. That's why he picked Tom Foley to unveil his number 3, along with one of his best friends on the team, James Shields, right? But he loved Tom Foley because Tom Foley was his defensive guru. And he would take ground balls from his knees on the grass at third base, and he would just sit there for, it seemed like forever, but, probably 20, 30 minutes. And he'd just be feeling the balls left and right on his knees in order to engage his hands. And I always found that, curious and interesting, because in all my years of playing, I never seen, and I'm telling you, I've played with some great defensive guys, I got the chance to play with in the infield, including the great Chico Lind, with the Pirates, Willie Randolph. Guys that were exceptional hand-eye tool, defensive specialists. But he found this drill, and he would do it every day, especially not almost every day. He would do it if he felt like he was out of sync. And then you'd see him do that for a whole homestand, and he'd get back in sync defensively. But I think those are the little things that people don't realize go a long way, along with hitting, dramatic home runs.
For me, that was such a moment, 162, that it's hard to find something better on the field that even comes close. But
No
for
doubt.
me, back in the early days, I was in that clubhouse every day. At post games, I covered the team very closely, with Channel 44 and Channel 8. And so Longo was obviously a presence in there, and you get to know. But after, and there were some, when he was there weren't many lean years. But you just kind of felt with his presence, even as a rookie, that he was a special kind of guy, and he got it. He was the ultimate professional at baseball, and you just really appreciate that, because you talk about this all the time, Big O. It's such a effing grind, man. It's 162, and it's just every day. And you got to perform every day. It's not just, you can't take days off if you're a pro. You can't, like all of us want to. All of us want to, and it just, you can't. And he was always that guy that would answer questions, good or bad. He was always that guy. He was the epitome of leaders, and he was clutch. Every time you needed, you talk about the run producers and the heightened awareness in the risk situations. That was Longo.
100%.
Every single time. And
I'll
remember his overall professionalism.
Yeah, and you know what? And you mentioned that he was fortunate to be some pretty damn good teams starting in 08. 09 was actually a juggernaut of an offense. They didn't go far, but they led the league in runs scored. Everybody was clicking. Zobrist, him, Pena, Bartlett, you name it. Carl, CC. They were just peaking because they were all 25 to 28, if not younger, because actually, Longo was younger then. But I remember this year, and you do also, JP, 2012, early in the season, somewhere, I can't remember exactly when it was. I want to say Mayish. He goes down with a tear of his lower hamstring, and he misses weeks, if not a couple of months, man. And you just saw that team just completely collapse without having Evan Longoria there for it. Because another thing that you have to, realize is that he played almost, regularly, man. You can just put number 3 in there in the third spot. Every now and then, Joe, if he was struggling, he would lead him off. Remember how Joe would lead him off to get him away from chasing a little bit? It was what I was talking about before. But he was number 3 at that third base and the third hole. But when he went out for that couple of months, you just noticed that he was, as Reggie would say, the straw that stirred the drink for the Tampa Bay Rays for pretty much a decade. And and I always remember that because I was like, holy cow, we just, the whole offense lost its identity. And you still had some monsters on there, but it just didn't click without Longo in the middle of it.
All right, let's look at this team, Big O, and I want to dig down on this on the draft, because I would listen to your show on Friday, and you and I are in lockstep on this. We wanted Lackey, the catcher. We wanted the Rays to select him. It just happens to be on this weekend that Flewelling is the MVP of the Futures game because he hit a 2-run homer. It doesn't mean he's going to be a great catcher, but he's got all the tools. There's no question about it. How much do you think them passing on the catcher, the plug-and-play catcher with power hitting, who's got a great upside as an athlete, plus, if you said it so well on Friday. And that's such a high value position. It's like quarterback in football.
Massive.
It's massive. And listen, these young kids, Bodine and Flewelling, they have great pedigree. They look like they're going to be great players. We don't know they're going to be great catchers. There's no assurance of that. But do you think they passed on him because of these guys they have? Because I think it was a mistake.
I think it's specifically because of that, JP. I think that they feel that they have not one but 2 potential everyday major league catchers, and you never know. They might be thinking this is our tandem for 10 years, because remember, one hits lefty, the other one hits righty, so you can platoon them, you can rest them, and they're always been about lefty righty matchups. Who more than the Rays are about metrics and things like that. Right. So if you can, in fact, they're playing in the same league right now. That's how crazy they are. They didn't even separate. One of them got called up to the high A in Bowling Green, and they're both playing. One catches for 3 days, and the other one DHs, and the other one catches for 3 days, the other one DHs. So they're like grooming them like one player. Potentially, right? 19, 20 years old. That has to be it. That has to be it. Because other than that, we're facing history repeating itself. And that's the craziness that we're sitting at. And I mentioned in the show, we've mentioned it before, you just can't help but, the irony, potentially irony if it doesn't work out, definitely the coincidence, for sure, that back in 2004, you had Buster Posey from the ACC, All-American catcher, could hit, throw, athletic, and you had Timmy, Beckham from Georgia as the 5-tool, high schooler. It's just too ironic, man, or too coincidental. And the irony, you'll take the irony away if both are successful. And the kid, Grady Emerson, becomes a star, and we get not only this tandem catching that goes into the new stadium, but you get this kid that ends up being, I don't want to say Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr. is a one-off, man. It's hard. Kind of like the Yankees saying Volpe's the next Jeter. How has that worked out? you know.
No.
So you can't do that. But you could say that he could be a solid shortstop, above average, great runner. You know, I hope that for the Rays, and I hope that for the kid Grady. He seems like comes from a great pedigree family, you know, where he played for in Texas. Texas high school baseball is monstrous. I mean, it's right there with California and obviously Florida. And maybe
I've been
it's
watching him
high
play
school.
since his freshman year.
I'm
right
on.
down the road from
You
me.
could talk on you could talk on Texas high school baseball. They're just you know, when you get a kid from Texas, you know, high school or college, it's pretty legit.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk on Grady Emerson. I've been watching him play since his freshman year down the road here at Argyle. He played 3 years at Argyle, where, by the way, the head football coach at Argyle High School, the great Jason Witten, former Cowboys and I guess Ravens great, if you want to call him
one of my faves.
His senior year last year, he played at Liberty Christian in Fort Worth, where, oh, by the way, his head coach was Rusty Greer, former
Texas Ranger.
Yeah. So the dude's a beast, man. And there's a reason he was the first high schooler chosen out of the draft. And so I guess my question to you guys is, look, we all thought that they were going to take the catcher Vaughn, or that they should take the catcher. But is there any sense here that maybe they think Emerson's upside is higher down the road than take? I mean, I don't know that I agree with that. I'm asking the question.
They absolutely think that, or they would not have drafted him number 2 overall. I mean,
instead of
no doubt.
Yeah.
They went with the best. They went to the best athlete, the best, you know, all around 5-tool guy.
Best
in the
potential.
draft.
They went with the best potential instead of a guy that I think is an absolute sure thing, and at a need position. And, you know, this happens across all sports. General managers make picks, and they fall in love with them, and they play them, and they want them to be successful. Obviously, it's human nature.
Right.
And only time will tell if Neander is right here. You know, but I agree. I think that was part of their process. I'm not sure and you have to take that into consideration because you're building a team. You're not selecting one player. You're building a team and an organization. So if you got guys in your organization that you feel can, but I just don't know if that's the case here. But we'll see. But man, you are, to your point, you are spitting in the face of the baseball gods when you do this. When you have this same situation, and you do not learn.
Also, and I'll tell you why. Because, again, you're going back to irony, possibly, you know, or coincidence.
Yes.
But you're going to this kid, Von Lackey, goes to Minnesota. Last big boy, number 1, you know, not number 1, but, you know, first
Joe
round pick,
Mauer.
Joe freaking Mauer.
Yeah.
I mean, a tad or two below Busty Posey as far as
it is ironic.
numbers.
Let me make this point. And it is ironic, but it's also baseball, man. It's the catching position. And when you just in general, if you're going to select a high school shortstop, okay, I don't care how many tools he has. You just don't know until you see him against the best competition, right? A high school shortstop over a very polished catcher who has played at the highest amateur level other than AAA, and that's ACC, SEC baseball. That's not just ironic. There are reasons why you should take the polished player over the high school shortstop. And if you did not learn that with Tim Beckham, you might learn it again. And listen, Eric Neander's forgotten more baseball yesterday than I know. And he knows way more about Llewellyn and Bodine, all his prospects. And he knows more about Grady Emerson, and he knows more about Levon Lackey than I do. But just in general, there's reasons why you take the polished catcher over the high potential shortstop. And you got burned the last time, big time. And I hope it doesn't happen again, but it is what it is.
JP, I want to ask you a question, because you know, you of all people in the Tampa Bay area, but anywhere really, you know, understand the draft. And when we say the draft, there's really only one draft that kind of gets so dissected, and that's the NFL draft, right? Dramatically. And so much goes into it, right? So much, you know, the litmus tests that they take, the combines, which MLB does too. They do their own version of combines by having the guys come in and test and stuff. So you know, Petermans and Peter ladies out there, don't think that, you know, they're just, you know, they're yes, it's Peter ladies too. They're guessing. Yeah, I know Homo was coming with something there. The big brown Cuban. But my question is this. How much do you think that, they interviewed these kids? Because that goes into, top 10 picks in the NFL, and they just, felt something, along with, let's add to that, how they feel the process of producing one, maybe two great catchers that they have, and how they feel about these kids, now that they have them in the fold. They've had them in the fold now for a while, and they're like, oh, these kids, the pedigree's there. It's there. These kids can do this. How much do you think that really came in? Because maybe they just, had a great testing of both these kids, and they went, we've got these two catchers. We're really happy with them. They're big leaguers in the making. And, we're going after the best all around player, in the draft.
All right, we'll see how that works out. Hey, before you go, also the deadline. Everybody's talking about the Rays. Nightingale put out a piece. The Rays are going to be uber aggressive, which we've expected, and they've got a lot of prospects to deal with. Which, by the way, those catching prospects can be used to get other players if you drafted Lackey. So it's not like you wouldn't get value out of them anyway. You could get value out of them because they'd be highly sought after, right? And to bring
100%.
in difference makers that can help you win a championship now. And there's a frustration among the fan base, and I think this is completely fair, that Neander is always about the future. It's always about the future. And at some point we want to go, what about the now? Let's get this shit done now. And this is a year to do it. So you could have traded those catching prospects, but you can't trade draft picks, by the way.
No.
So you've got to be able to, that they could have been used in that way. But anyway, they've got a lot of prospects. And
one we're overlooking is Carson Williams, and there's all this talk about Emerson and Lackey and the catchers. Lost in there is a guy that a year ago, talk about can't miss. You know what I mean? I still feel that he potentially can be a can't miss, because you can't go by short stints in the big leagues and a little bit bright lights, big city doesn't mean that he cannot be. The guy has the tools, the size, the speed, the arm, the power. So is he going to be one of the guys that they let go and they groom Emerson for the quote unquote future as you're talking about? Possibly. But you can't forget about Carson Williams. But I think the team has plenty of bullets in there to put in the barrel and shoot out there, in the sense of if what they need to go get, that extra pitcher, that extra power hitter. We'll see. Still a lot of talk about second base, maybe even some talk about shortstop for the immediacy. But I don't, honestly, what I go after is a frontline middle, starter, that 3-4 guy. We still have to kind of feel like, Seymour has, had some really great spurts, but, are you going to lean on Ian Seymour, late in the season or in the postseason? Are you going to lean on Griffin Jacks, or do you want that one other hammer, that you can get that adds to the 3-pack that really has been doing great?
Yeah. All right, big man.
We'll see. Home run derby tonight, by the way. Exciting. Yeah. Just quick stories. One was I've been fortunate to be at 2 MLB All-Star, extravaganzas in past years. Actually more like 4 or 5, but 2 that stand out when I was with ESPN and XM were the Bobby Abreu 41 homers in one round in Detroit that I got to see. And then speaking of the Rays, I also was in Yankee Stadium for Josh Hamilton hitting 28 bombs, including 13 in a row. So it's going to be interesting. I love that they changed the format, because it's too many swings, way too many swings if you keep on homering. So this is very smart of them, and it should be exciting. Go Junior. Let's see if he can bring a trophy home.
And by the way, if you guys missed the Big O show with me and Big O on Friday, you got to go back and listen to my now favorite Big O stories of all time about how he won home run hitting contests with Mark Harmon of NCIS fame and John Lovitz.
John Lovitz.
That was a
Classic,
great story,
dude.
Fantastic.
John Lovitz. Yeah, I won a home run contest. That's the ticket.
You and me, Big O.
All by myself. Big O
All
didn't
by
do
myself.
much.
I'm a power hitter. Yeah, yes, I am.
I'm a power
From the
hitter.
right side. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
He was.
an
I
awesome
remember
guy.
watching that Big O. That guy couldn't get it past the pitcher. He was
No,
terrible.
dude, come on now.
terrible.
Come on, John.
Oh my
Mark
God.
Harmon could
Now Mark
play.
Harmon, no, totally different. That guy's he's a
an
player
athlete.
He
dog.
could play.
Yeah.
Yeah. The,
Hey,
the best ball
Big O will
players
be
would-
there tomorrow night.
Yeah, we'll be there
for the
tomorrow night
All-Star
for
game.
sure.
Yep.
And we'll have our show tomorrow afternoon. So we'll be all-star extravaganza with JP and the Big O.
Yeah, we're gonna have some friends there to talk baseball, but more than everything, we want you guys there. All our Petermans, our regulars, just email me, jp@thejppetersonshow.com. Let me know you're coming. So we will we'll get you parking instructions and all that stuff. So we'll have a good time. Cannot wait. It's gonna be a fun night of baseball. We might even do a little broadcast, put all your knuckleheads on, see if you can host the show.
Yeah.
Great.
All
Yeah.
right.
I'm going to be drunk.
Who Shiesty? We'll see how good you guys will be. Yeah. Well, we can pipe you in, Timmy. Right? We'll pipe you in from whatever.
I'll be as drunk as the rest of you. So hell yeah.
All right, let's do it. All right, thanks, Big O. We'll
All
see you
right,
tomorrow.
guys, Cuban. You got it. Later.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side and get into a little Baker Mayfield stuff. Some interesting revelations in the upcoming Netflix series, The Quarterback. We'll talk about that. We got some World Cup stuff to get to and much more coming here on the JP Peterson Show. We are brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Italiano Insurance, soon to be AJ Gallagher Insurance, but you got to get the same great customer service, the same local folks working for you where they do all the work. You save all the money, but you get the big insurance company, which opens up more options for you and can eventually get you a lower cost and better coverage. That's Italiano Insurance, soon to be AJ Gallagher Insurance. Same old company, better options for you. The little thing, the big thing, it's a great thing. It's Italiano Insurance, soon to be AJ Gallagher Insurance. Back in 3. Stay with us.
Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted #3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream. fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports. I'm IndyCar Tim. JP Peterson is back from vacation, but not back from break. How about them apples? Massive talk with Big O about the Rays draft, about the Rays Longoria weekend. You guys let us know what your favorite part about Rays Longoria weekend was. Your thoughts on Grady Emerson and the rest of the draft. They went very pitcher heavy. I think they went 10 pitchers in a row at one point through a number of picks. So clearly building for the future, building some potential draft picks. I think maybe we have JP back. JP, do you have us?
I'm back. I am back. I had to take care of some stepfatherly duties there, my friend. Is my
did you get the belt out?
No, my stepson is going off to the Passion Camp for the first time. So
what is that?
It's a religious camp where it'd be tens of thousands, or probably maybe not tens of thousands, thousands of kids. They gather in Daytona Beach this year, and they all come together and learn about the Lord. And
Passion? It's called Passion?
Yes.
Okay.
It is a life, as I told him, it is a life-changing experience for the good. You get to know a lot of really good kids and a fantastic peer group. And very excited for it. He's a little nervous, as you always go to first time sleepaway camp. I don't know if you guys have done that before, but it can be very nervous going away. So I just kind of told him to take the edge off a little bit. You're going to have a great time. Once you get there and you start meeting all the kids and singing all the songs and doing all the stuff, it's really, really cool. So I'm happy for him. And I know a lot of parents are going through this too, where, I remember dropping off my kids, my little kids many, many years ago at sleepaway camp at Camp Rockmont in North Carolina, at Camp Ridgewood, I believe it was, for my daughter. And it's just such a great experience. It's a life-changing experience, and it's good. So, but it's nerve-wracking for the parents.
And how old is the boy?
He's 13. And it's so funny, as I remember, imagine in today's society, you say, because our parents put us on a train in South Florida, Hollywood, Florida. We took a train all the way to Sparta, Tennessee.
Damn.
And to Sparta, Tennessee. And we got off the train. Counselors picked us up and they took us to the sleepaway camp in the middle of Tennessee. It's just this a very secluded place right on the Caney Fork River. And and for 2 weeks we shot bows and arrows, we shot guns, we played basketball, we played, capture the flag all over, we hiked mountain trails, we rappelled off 400-foot cliffs, we jumped off 60-foot rocks into the water. I mean, you told me, like, we used to do this. It was young children. And you do that, you talk about that stuff now, people are like, are you out of your mind? No, you give your kids over to people and this is what you do. Yep. And it was perfectly fine. It's the greatest education you'll ever get in your life. I learned how to water ski. I learned how to, make a fire. I learned how to rappel off cliffs. I mean, all these things you never thought you would ever do. And it teaches you that you can do things that you never thought you could do. And there's, and I think it's just the greatest education. Now, this particular camp isn't that. It's more about, getting to know the Lord and things like that. But I want him to experience those other type of camps that my son did at Camp Rockmont, which they still do. And it was so funny when I went up there. This is probably 15 years ago, and my camp was 50 years ago, and they still sing the same songs, which I find just incredible.
That's funny.
The setup is still very much the same. You have the individual cabins, and you have, they ring the bell in the morning. You get up early, you clean your cabin gets inspected.
Yeah.
You got to make your bed. The best, they come and score. The best cabins get the special things, and it's like the same process. And they do the archery, target shooting with 22 rifles, all these things, survival camps, and it's great for kids, and it's absolutely, I think, essential, especially these days. And there's no phones. Check your, the kids don't.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, they could. I mean, you can't call your mom and dad and say, I want to come home. Because, a lot of kids do. But if you don't have that option, you get over it. You'll figure it out. And I think it's absolutely vitally important, especially for kids these days. So, and I know it's expensive too. It's really expensive, but to me, it's the best education kids could get these days. So
my camp might have been a little more different experience than yours, JP. So my camp, I changed schools mid 5th grade. We moved away. Came to my new school, by the way, where I changed my name because I didn't want to be Timmy anymore. I was moving from 4th or 5th grade. I was like, now's my chance. Get away from Timmy. So I went by TJ. I introduced myself as TJ to all my new classmates. The issue was there was like 4 kids from my old school that was already going to school there that knew me as Timmy. And they're like, what the hell, dude? It's Timmy. So, who's TJ? So anyway, that didn't work. So, everybody was going to camp. Like the next week when I started my new school, to Camp Goddard up in Oklahoma for like a week. And, of course, I wasn't there to sign up for it. But they made an exception. Like, man, if you can go ahead and pay, we'll go ahead and let you go. I was like, sweet. Never been to camp before. And it was just like in school. Like, it wasn't summer or anything. It was during the school year. And so my parents paid it. I get to go to camp again, 5th grade. We did all the canoeing, all the outdoorsy stuff. We did the archery. It was awesome. We built a raft out of logs, things like that.
Yeah.
My biggest memory, though, JP, and it was co-ed. First time I got to 3rd base.
Oh, see, I never did the co-ed camp.
Oh, I
never did the co-ed camp.
It was a mistake.
I think it was like one of my last years there. We had a social. There was a girls' camp across the river.
Oh man,
just
like the movie Meatballs.
But it's called Camp High Lake, by the way, in Tennessee, which is still there. I went by like 3 or 4 years ago. We were driving through Tennessee to Nashville. I was like, you know what? I want to go see if the camp is still there. So we went, and my cabin was still there.
Wow.
The same cabin. I went inside the cabin and saw where my name was. You etch your name in the side of the cabin. Yeah. It was still there.
Wow.
Like, you have not gotten rid of these shitty cabins yet. But whatever. My daughter's camp, like, they had wooden cabins, but they were air conditioned, and they had they both had 2 really nice bathrooms in them. I'm like, okay, whatever. but good for the girls. They need
Yeah.
it, right? But my camp was still that. But we had one social, and I remember it was crazy.
No poo shiesty, and I not take her to Applebee's after I got to third base. There was no Applebee's in the woods, but I would have.
Well, it's funny because I just told my stepson, I said, I was giving him some pointers, and I said, by the way, don't kiss any girls. He's like, what? Why would you even say that? We're going to a Christian. I'm like, don't worry. Christian boys and girls have hormones too. So I say, keep your mind on the main thing. All right. Girls are bad. Girls bad. Anyway, let's get to the comments from today. We've ignored you people long enough.
Or have we?
Or have we? Who we got here? Pooh Shiesty says, congratulations to Longo on the Rays Hall of Fame induction. 22,000 fans at the Trop on Saturday, 24K on Sunday. You love to see it. Yeah, those are great crowds in the middle of summer. Those are fantastic crowds. He says, is there any truth to the rumor that JP was partying with Stu? No, that is probably never going to happen. Although I told you, we had coffee in Havana. It was lovely. Alejandro says, good morning, JP and Petermans. What a weekend for the Rays because it was special. Longo's legacy weekend with this Hall of Fame ceremony. His number retired. It was awesome, Alejandro. He also says the Rays draft was a major success because we got Grady Emerson, who was ranked the number 1 prospect in the draft. He's going to be special for us, and he will be a future cornerstone of the Rays. Let's go. Sounds great, Alejandro. The draft is littered with can't-miss high school shortstops. And I hope to God Grady is different, and I hope he's a superstar. But it's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
For high school players, it's a crapshoot, and it's different with college players.
They're more battle tested. Yeah.
Has gone through 4 years more of, having to beat the best and overcome the best. This kid has never done it. You have no idea what he's going to be like when he faces competition equal to him. This guy's already done it for 4 years, 3 or 4 years. It's a totally different evaluation game. Mm-hmm. It's a totally different deal. And I just think fundamentally it's a bad idea. But we'll see. We can all have different, again, Eric Meander has way more information than I do on all these guys. But, and as good as he is, he's not flawless. And I think it was a mistake. We'll find out in 3 or 4 years or 5 years, 7 years. And that's the other thing. If Grady ain't coming here, we'll be lucky to have him by 29. The baseball takes time. Guys like Junior Caminero are very, very rare. Mm-hmm. That can come up at 19, 20, 21 and handle themselves.
Otherwise, everybody would have one.
Right. This is, at the very best, Grady won't be here until 29, 30. This other guy's ready to go. He could be here by the end of the season. And I thought that was more important. Not to stay, but, come September, call up. But you never know. David Price came up and helped win a World Series. So, and I think this kid's special. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. Blue Shiesty said, we need a catcher more than we need a shortstop. Prospects take a few years to reach the show, but we would have been good to lock up a catcher. I don't think you can have enough catchers, to be quite honest. And again, the catchers that you do have can still have value in trades. If this kid, you would know, at least have an idea if you called him up in September what his potential would be, and you already have a pretty good idea because you've seen much more from him at a higher level competition. Like the evaluation process you're at with Grady Emerson is about a 1. The evaluation pots where you're at with Von Lackey is about an 8, 7. Let's say 7. He's not played professional baseball yet, but college baseball at the ACC, SEC level now. We talked about this with Big O, and I've asked other players that have been in this, and they say it's AA at the very least, close to AAA. So you're getting damn close to major league level. High school they're babies, man. They're babies. it's just it's tough. And you're projecting a lot on this kid. Now, it's not just the tools that you're projecting, but maturity, work ethic, getting along with your teammates, taking coaching, all these things. You have no idea. None. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Alejandro says Longo's legacy weekend was worth the price of admission and well worth the hype. Seeing all the Rays fans show up made it special. Seeing him walk out was very out of the tunnel during it. Made me cry. Yeah, it seemed emotional. Intern Danny says, based on how the draft went, I'd expect to see a lot of pitchers moved at the deadline. Yeah, we got 21 pitchers, a lot of college pitchers. Yeah, that was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
Buck's Basement says this feels like deja vu all over again. Rays #1 in the AL East, 5-5 last 10. Bats struggling. Please make moves at the trade deadline. Otherwise, it's one and done in the wild card once again. Listen, I 100% agree with you. I do. I mean, if Eric Neander is looking at this team like a finished product, then we got problems. But he's not.
No team is ever doing that.
There's no way. No. And people have tweeted at me, oh, Neander's going to do the same old thing. Listen, this ownership group has not owned this team long enough, and they don't have the deal done to have cost certainty yet. So if they were to be more conservative at the deadline from a fiscal standpoint, I would completely understand that. But I really feel like, and they don't necessarily have to add huge payroll to make a dent. They just got to go get the right guys. And how much are you willing to give up? The aggressiveness will not be shown financially as much as it will be shown with how many prospects you give up. Now, do I want to give up the farm for a rental for Skubal? Hell no. But you don't have to. There's other pitchers out there. There are other answers out there. It's up to the Rays scouts to go out and find the right people for the right price. But standing pat is not an option in my mind. Absolutely 100% not an option. The Yankees aren't going to stand pat. No. None of the contenders are. So, yeah. Alejandro says Fluellen and Bodine are our two top 3 prospects and are expected to debut in 28 and 29. They are the future if we don't trade away to go get someone like Skubal, Peralta, or a big bat. Again, if you draft a lackey, you can trade those guys and bring back great value that could win you, which is the ultimate goal here, is to win the World Series. The ultimate goal is not to have the best farm system. That is not the way. Now, it's kind of seemed that way for the Rays, but that was with an ownership group and an owner that was the way he made money.
Yep.
Okay. That was his main thrust, was making money. And a great way to do that is to, when your guys get expensive, you sell them off for prospects you can go get, and they can play regular season baseball and be very, very good. And you can get to the playoffs, but you're never going to win a World Series like that. And I believe this group is different. Now, they're just starting out. So let's, give them some time to develop their processes. But they're not going to be a group that just constantly lets the expensive players go. They're not going to be allowed to. I think they would do this anyway, but the floor's coming up. There's going to be a floor after this CBA deal. There's no question about that. As to the cap, maybe not. But there's going to be a floor, and I hope a cap as well, some sort of cap. But we'll see. John Hill says the Rays didn't listen to the big brown Cuban and drafted a high school shortstop instead of the stud college slugging catcher. Yeah, I'm disappointed. John Hill says after the first 297 days, Longoria and Caminero both have 307 hits. Yeah, that comparison between the two was pretty interesting. Really, really interesting. Very, very similar. Airweed says, got a feeling this is going to be a Buster Posey deal all over again. It's so hard to get a great catcher in the big leagues. Agreed. John asks, was Tim Ham the high wire camera operator during the Norway-England match? Oh. So have you seen this controversy, as they like to call it in England? So the ball clearly hit the wire on the camera.
And there's people saying that it clearly didn't. Like, I don't understand those. Like, they're saying, oh, it clearly didn't touch it.
Because the chip and the ball didn't register it. I'm sorry. I'm not to the point where I'm going to believe, quote, technology over what my eyes are telling me.
Yeah.
That ball clearly changed course in my eyes. I thought it was clear as day. The whistle should have blown. They missed it. They could have gone back to VAR. They did not. It clearly changed the game, England and Norway. Now, this whole idea of playing the match again, the whole match again, I think was a little bananas. But it just, again, to me, it goes to this whole notion that these bodies can change the outcome of games because of VAR. And they can selectively use it when they want to, and selectively use it and see things that they don't want to. And I think it's gone in Argentina's favor against Egypt. It was clear as day. The same exact thing happened 5 minutes apart. And one, they took away the goal. The other one, they did not.
Yep.
And it's arbitrary.
It tells you there's an agenda there is what it tells you.
Yeah. And it's they can do this. And there's a, VAR person making this determination. Same thing in the NFL. I had this argument with someone this week. Oh, you think the NFL is fixed? I said, no. I think you could define it as you will, fixed or not fixed. I don't think they're fixing every game, but there's no question. Right. If you have an anonymous third party that's in the ear of every official, and this is not a transparent process when it clearly can be, you're inviting this type of speculation. You want to stop it? Open up the microphones like they do in the ACC and the XFL. Let's listen to everything the refs are saying, every angle they're seeing, and how they're coming to these determinations. Because when you do that and you're fully transparent, you take away the speculation. Now, when I hear these calls being done in the ACC, most of the time, sometimes they'll say, I'm not seeing what they're seeing, but they're making an argument, and it's right. Clear and it's cogent, and I can see why they make the decision.
Explaining their process. Yeah.
Yes. You don't see that in VAR. You don't see that in the NFL. So is it true that they can change the outcomes of games with these ambiguous replay calls? Yes. That is a fact. That is an absolute fact. That is not debatable. They can do it. What you're being asked to believe is, would they? And if you tell me they can create storylines and make more money, history tells me that people do that. When they have the opportunity to make more money, they do that. And significantly more money, creating storylines that will ratings higher, which brings in more money. You want to stop the speculation? Open it up. Let's hear everything going on in the NFL room and the hockey room and everywhere else. Let's hear it. Let's hear it and let's see it. You want to make us part of the process? They won't do it. Why? I think that answers your question. When you have the opportunity to be transparent and you're not, there's a reason for that. Yeah. Danny says the Rays absolutely nailed the draft, in my opinion. Got pitching coming in and some good position players. Listen, I can't tell you anything about the rest of the players they took, but I will say this. They took a right-handed pitcher, Blair, I believe it was, from Liberty University, who's a really good prospect, at 49. And Caden Wechter from Jesuit High School, Doug's son, went at 55. Why do we ignore our local products? We had 3 picks, and I know he wasn't going to go number 2. And then we had a 33rd pick, and then we had a 49th pick right before Caden Wechter was selected. And he's a right-handed pitcher, by the way, just like Caden. Now Caden's a high schooler, and this kid's in Liberty. So yes, better. You have a lot more film on this right-hander against better competition. Even though it was Liberty, I think he did pitch very well in the NCAA tournament. Because I know Liberty went far. But again, I don't know a whole lot about the kid. I don't know the difference between the two. The Rays do, but I'm just like, if it's that, do we ever select anybody like from Tampa Bay? It's like the guys on your broadcast team, for God's sakes. All right, whatever. I wonder if
you think that conversation even comes up?
I don't know. It shouldn't. That should never be a factor where the kid lives. I know, but I don't know. It's like, you passed on my boy 3 times, and Doug and Neander are good friends. They know each other, right? Very well.
Well, and they would have had conversations even ahead of the draft, right? Like, I mean, that
I would hope so. I would hope that they would know a little bit about Caden. Like they would, there's a place you can get some really good inside information on the kid, right? I don't know. Would have been a nice story. Nathan Comanci says, hey, JP, how are you doing? How close are the Rays in finishing the deal on the new stadium? I'll be completely candid with you guys. I have not talked to Hagan or Babby in a while. I plan on doing it this week. So we'll catch up and find out when the votes are. So hopefully I'll have some information for you tomorrow, if not on Wednesday. But I'll talk to them. I'm going to reach out to Clendenin as well on the city council and a couple other sources that have been really good for me on this. So we will get you some information as the week goes on. But, at this point, I'm still extremely confident this is going to get done. Oh, the lovely Ashley is chiming in, my wife, and says, can you do a contest with everyone to see who expresses how much they missed you most, like you did for us? So, yeah, I did that with Ashley and the stepkid. We were in the car getting dinner last night. I said, we're going to have a little contest. Each one of you will get 15 seconds to express to me how much you missed me the most. And the winner gets extra ice cream at the end of the night. And so my stepson Hudson won. Ashley's attempt was pathetic at best. My stepdaughter came in second. It was pretty good. Sounded a little chat GPT-ish. But yes, if you guys would like to have a contest in the comments, how much you missed me, have at it. I can take the abuse because I know it's coming. It's like, can't we just have Tim and Big O every day? No, you can't. Sorry.
I don't think anybody wants that. Maybe Big O.
But I did do that. Did I overreach on my stepchildren? Michael LaRue says, and it was just for fun, guys, just having fun. Michael LaRue says, I prefer college players because they faced much better pitching, but I love Grady Emerson's swing more than anyone else's in this draft class. Do you love his swing, Michael? Have you seen it a lot? Have you really watched it a lot? Have you seen it against top-notch competition or little Joey from the other?
Well, you can like a guy's mechanics. School. I mean, mechanics translate.
No, they really don't. Not at the high school level against
you can tell if a guy's got a good handle on his swing.
Yeah, I mean, on a rudimentary level, of course the kid's going to have. Right. Yeah, but can he hit a curveball? Can he hit his changeup? Can he hit
a lot of curveballs at the high school? A little bit, but not like you're going to get it in AA.
Yeah, not changeup and splitters. It's just just a different level of evaluation. But interesting. Nathan asks, can we bring Evan on staff to help Junior with his defense? I think Junior's defense has gotten markedly better this year. I know he made another error this past weekend, but he's gotten, you look at defensive runs saved, he's been up dramatically. And I think he started the season really rough. He had 8 errors in the first month and a half. It was bad. But since then, it's been really good. He's got great potential. He works his ass off. He's still 23 years old. So I'm not worried about his defense. I'm really not. And I think he's being tutored well. But I think if I'm not mistaken, Evan has said that he's making Tampa Bay their home. So would I want him part of the organization? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I would want him part of it. I would want Joe Madden part of it. Yeah, you have guys, and Joe lives here part-time. These are people with great baseball knowledge. And I think this group has the ability to, and the want to make them part of it, But you also have to be careful, right? I mean, you have a manager, you have a general manager. They're doing a pretty good job. So, but, to find a way to bring these really, really smart people into the fold. And I think this group is pretty smart with that. All right, let's hit one more break. And I want to get back. When I come back, I want to hit the Baker Mayfield stuff. I think this is really, really interesting stuff. We are brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. Summertime is a great time to get engaged, right? You're going on summer vacation. I've heard a lot of engagement stories lately. I don't know why, but I have.
Gross.
But they all start with one thing, and that's going to get the ring. And that's the Gold and Diamond Source. It can be nerve-wracking. You don't know, what you're buying, what the price is, right? That's why the Gold and Diamond Source is so great. They have a great staff there. They're going to educate you about it, and then they're not going to push you into something that you do not need. They have interest-free financing for 5 years and best selection. Gold and Diamond Source. And gold, silver at an all-time high. Bring in your old jewelry, and they will pay you cash for it and give you discounts if you want to buy something new. So that's a great way to get something for a lot less. Trade it in. Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Overton Road, just across the bridge if you're coming from Tampa and Clearwater. Back in 3.
JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you. Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, the Gold and Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler. So don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Gold and Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Gold and Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Gold and Diamond Source. So if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Gold and Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Gold and Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's the love you give only at Gold and Diamond Source.
Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service you get, $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing, roofing done right. Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC. They partner with American Standard Heating and Cooling to cover all your HVAC needs. If you need a new system or yours is at the tail end, thirdgeneration.com, so thirdgenerationplumbing.com is where you go. They also do AC. Email them, call them. Don't forget about the maintenance special that they run. $169 gets you 2 visits. They'll come out 6 months apart, make sure everything's working, or whenever you need them to come out, they'll come out. You get 2 visits for $169, which is way below the emergency cost if they have to come out and do something to come drain your line. So be proactive. Have them come out there. You'll get to know the folks, the technicians, great folks over there, people you can trust. Not going to try to sell you a system when you don't need it. A lot of people do that. They don't do that at Third Generation Plumbing. That's why they've been in business since 1995. Great folks over there. PJ that runs the place, John Rodriguez, and American Standard Heating and Cooling. Those are the units that they use. Durable, dependable, efficient, great combination. Third Generation Plumbing and American Standard Heating and Cooling. All right, I wanted to hit this on Baker Mayfield. Evan Klosky, who's going to join us tomorrow from Tampa Bay 10, got an advanced copy of the Netflix series that's coming out, Quarterback, of which Baker Mayfield is featured prominently. And they revealed some of the injury issues that he had. Sprained MCL and PCL for most of the season, starting in week 2.
We saw that injury, right? We saw that happen.
Yes, but he was never. I don't think he was ever listed on the knee injury on the. Yeah. He also had a bone bruise in the Houston game, which was aggravated against the Lions. On a scale of 1 to 10, the knee pain was a 7 around the Patriots contest after the bye week. There was also some sort of tendon injury in his bicep. Remember that?
Yep.
Sustained in the Jets game. The bruising
we saw that one too.
Gnarly. He wore an arm sleeve to cover it up. Later in the year, he suffered an AC joint injury against the Rams, which we knew. Then he was on the report for that. Baker played with a multitude of injuries in 2025. It took a toll on him towards the end of the year. You'll see the behind-the-scenes work he puts in to get his body back to practice on Wednesdays. The takeaway quote from Baker: "Pain is miserable, but toughness shows how bad you want something." So, listen, first of all, this is why I love Baker. And the Baker critics, I mean, I don't know what you could be. I mean, you got to look at the game as a whole. No quarterbacks are perfect. And the numbers that he put up are top 2 numbers in terms of yardage and touchdowns, which are, I mean, we can get into a lot of the minutia of statistics, but to me, how many yards, how many touchdowns, right? Then the leadership capabilities, how he plays, all these things. And I know there was a list out. ESPN has a list out. They were talking about it on Get Up this morning of the top 10 quarterbacks and Baker's not on it. And there's some names on there like Caleb Williams and others that have just not done anything in their careers of any consequence. Look, Caleb's amazingly talented and more physically gifted than Baker. I'm not going to argue that. That doesn't make him a better quarterback.
Mm-mm.
And that goes for Justin Herbert and a few others on that list. And even Hasselbeck said they was asked, about the omission, and he said Baker Mayfield. Mayfield, absolutely.
Do you want to go down the list?
Yeah, go ahead.
And let's ask the question. Is Baker Mayfield right now better than this guy? Number 10, Caleb Williams.
Yes.
Number 9, Jared Goff. Or should we ask the question, would you rather have this guy or Baker Mayfield? Like, it'll work both ways, right?
I like Jared Goff. I like
too.
Baker Mayfield better.
I think Goff, by the way, at number 9 is way too far from the top of this list or bottom of this list, however you want to say it. Drake May, number 8. Come
on now.
Give me Baker. What's he done? I know he went to the Super Bowl. He'll never go back. Dan Marino.
Yeah, it's just too early. The kid's got a ton of talent, but it's just too early.
Would you rather have Justin Herbert at number 7 or Baker Mayfield?
For this team? Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. Look, and I love Justin Herbert. I was a huge supporter of him coming out of college. I thought he was going to be really, really good. But, dude.
He's missing something. I don't know if it's just, I agree with him. 100%.
And I get it. Coaching was a part of his career very early on that let him down. But, man, I thought under Harbaugh, he would be way better than he has been. And he's been nothing.
100% agree.
Number 6, Dak Prescott.
Come on now.
I'm sorry. Look, I love Baker. I'm taking Dak over Baker. And it's not because I'm a homer. I think Dak's ceiling is higher than Baker's still at his age. He's 32.
Should we have not seen it by now?
But I can.
Should he not have won something by now?
Well, but it's not. He's not the only guy on the field, JP. It's the same argument we get all the time.
How many playoff wins has Dak had?
2. Look, I would understand the argument either way. I'm just saying, me personally, I get the detractors. I understand. I get it.
And I know. Listen, what has Baker won? I know everybody's saying that as well. And he's won, a couple NFC South. All right. But when I look at their careers in total, and listen, I think situations matter. And if you ask me, who would I rather have Dak Prescott as my quarterback in Tampa Bay? We could trade right now. I'd say hell no. Baker is a better fit here. Absolutely. In fact, all those guys you just mentioned, if you said I'll trade you right now, I'd go no. Baker's
even over Goff.
Okay.
Yes, what about number 5? And I can't believe he's this high on the list. He was number 1 last year. Lamar Jackson.
I'll take Baker.
Look, I know Lamar had a couple of really good years. I know he's won a couple of MVPs. I'm back now because I covered the Ravens for 2.5, 3 years for a while, and I was really high on Lamar Jackson, watching him every day. But I'm back to he's a running back playing quarterback.
Now, listen, I think Lamar 2-3 years ago, I'll take Lamar. What I saw last year especially, and even the year before,
right?
He's lost his legs.
Mm-hmm.
He has lost the
Injuries.
thing that made him so incredibly special. He's like Russell Wilson later on in his career.
Cam Newton.
He was unstoppable because you couldn't freaking tackle the guy, and you couldn't sack him. And now he's a sack ready to happen.
Look,
his athleticism was off the freaking charts.
Yep.
And it no longer is. And I'm not saying he can't throw the ball or read from the pocket. That's not what I'm saying. What made him his superpower was his escapability.
Yep.
And I don't know if those were injuries that he's recovered from and he can get back to that. But at his age, I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously.
I put him in the same categories I put Cam Newton, right? Cam Newton was never a great quarterback. He was a great athlete. And when he got older and had suffered some injuries and he lost a lot of that athleticism, it took 100%. All of his quarterback abilities away. And he just became a less than average quarterback. So that, to me, that's where where
Agreed.
Jackson is. Number 4, Joe Burrow.
He's better than Baker.
See, I disagree. I'd rather have Baker.
Joe Burrow he's a special. I think Baker's got an elite arm, absolutely. But I think Burrow's arm is better. I think he reads the field better. I don't know.
Okay, but to me, you got to count Joe Burrow's durability concerns. That's part of it.
Absolutely, 100%.
I'd rather have Baker. I've never 100%. Seen Joe Burrow play through an injury.
That's true.
Number 3, Matt Stafford.
Yeah, he's always been a favorite of mine. He's freaking awesome. He's really
from
good.
Dallas. I watched him play in high school here. Dude's always been a beast.
Born in Tampa.
Yeah. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes.
He's pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Now, is he pretty good, or did he used to be pretty good?
No, he's still got it.
Think?
Yeah,
all
absolutely,
right.
100%.
No, I take Mahomes over Baker for sure. Number 1 on the list, and I'm going to rub some people the wrong way here. Josh Allen. Give me Baker Mayfield over Josh Allen.
You're insane.
No. What's Josh Allen ever done? Baker Mayfield has done more.
How many times? More?
Baker Mayfield has done more to me than Josh Allen has done. And I used to be a big Josh Allen fan, man, but he's right there to me with just the guy that just can't seem to get it done. And he had all of the tools a couple of times. I don't care who he ran into, Patrick Mahomes. He seems like the guy that is right there every year, and he can't get it done. And a lot of it is on him. It's not because of his team around him. He throws really bad picks and makes really bad decisions on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him make some bad. He's just, to me, if you tell me I could have Josh Allen over Baker, I'd take Josh Allen.
All right.
I'd take 5 of those guys, those 5 I mentioned. But everybody else,
the point is leaving Baker off this list is a travesty.
It's ridiculous. And
he didn't even make.
He did.
He made honorable mention with Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, and Jaden. By the way, how do you leave Jordan Love off of this and Sam Darnold?
So I think here's my take on the season last year, and it was my take during the season. You got to sit him down. It's been, and we've seen this a few times. The Carolina game at the end of 2 years ago. You got to sit him down. You have to have a backup quarterback that can win you some games. And this team drafted a guy in the 2nd round. And I thought Kyle Trask was on a nice development road. And I thought he was getting good. He had some really good preseasons. I watched him in practice and training camp, and he was really good. I thought in fact, I said, you got to play Kyle Trask here. He's ready to go. Put him out there. He should be able to win these games. And then I saw a training camp this year, which was a disaster for Kyle Trask. He was terrible. And I mean terrible. Incredible regression. To me,
after an extension.
Yeah, something with Josh Grizzard and Kyle Trask did not fit. And the fact that I guess Kyle finally got picked up, but when he was released, there was not they weren't running to sign Kyle Trask. But I thought in this system, he had learned it and he could be serviceable. He could come win you some games. But this year's regression was bad. And you couldn't ignore it in training camp. He was inaccurate. He was throwing picks. It was bad. And I said they need to go get a quarterback or a backup quarterback. And they got Teddy Bridgewater, who had played well the year before. But it was clear that he wasn't ready to play. And I don't know that. I'm not at practice every day. I don't see what he's doing with the scout team or who's running the scout or what his preparations. But if you don't have a bona fide backup quarterback that can take over for when a guy's got an MCL, a PCL, an AC joint, and all that, and he's clearly, and people want to rag on Baker, and there's comments in here, and I disagree, for Baker throwing bad picks. When you got all those injuries, you don't think that's going to affect the way you deliver the football when the difference between a completion and a pick six is about a yard? You're out of your mind. And that's up to the organization in practice, in preparation, to say you're not good enough to play. we got a guy here who can win us who should be competent to go out there and win a game, especially against some of the teams we were playing in the second half. That's on the organization. That is not on Baker Mayfield. He's answering the bell and doing everything he can, but there comes a point when you as the head coach, have got to say, you're sitting down. You can't go to Baker Mayfield and say, can you play this week? What the fuck you think he's going to say? It's Baker Mayfield. It's going to be like the Monty Python thing with both arms and legs come. Merely a flesh wound. Merely a flesh wound.
I've had worse.
And that's Baker Mayfield. You have to see with your eyes that guy can't even walk. He can't play this week. Let's get the other guy ready to win a game. That's on the coaching staff and the organization to put more emphasis on a backup quarterback to win you games. And if Teddy Bridgewater wasn't ready, and everybody wants to dump on Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, the guy was coaching high school football. Yes, I thought he would be ready. But again, if I bring him in and he can't throw the football like he used to, then you should – I wasn't at the practice. I wasn't able to see all that stuff. But I just, if they signed him, then he must be competent. Well, he wasn't.
I mean, I don't even know if they worked him out, right? Like, I know he came in through some passes. I don't know what kind of workout they put him through.
And maybe he wasn't ready to go because you didn't get him ready. You had you had time to get him ready. But whatever, it doesn't matter the reason. As an organization, you've got to have a backup quarterback. When a guy's going through this many injuries, he shouldn't be playing. He should not be playing. And again, that's on the organization. That's on the head coach.
Yeah.
And they got to be better about that. And, winning one of those games would have got him in the playoffs. And yes, Baker's and all you guys want, but he's not good enough. Look, we said it during the season. Look at how his accuracy has fallen off. When we saw his arm get mangled and he was wearing a sleeve, I told you guys he had a sprained MCL. You could see it. You could see it in the injury when it happened, and you could see it with the fact that for 3 weeks he didn't even run. I mean, come on now. That's on the organization.
Yep.
You've got to be better than that. And hopefully with the guy Browning that they got now, they got somebody who's filled in for Joe Burrow and been good and is a competent backup quarterback. And if Baker gets these type of injuries this year, which guess what? The way he plays, it's going to happen. Sit his ass down for 2 weeks, let him get better, and then bring him back when he can play. Not what you did last year. That was an abomination. And to me, that's if you want to talk about reasons, number one, your offensive line injuries was the number one reason for the collapse. And number two is, having Baker play through these injuries because clearly he wasn't able to play. That's a massive, massive coaching mistake.
Yep.
And that's why we don't have the confidence in Todd Bowles to be an elite coach because he can't make calls like that. Is that fair? One of the many reasons. And I knew that this quarterback series would show that. We haven't seen it yet, but Evan Klasky did, and I totally count on him to be absolutely 100% right in this.
Yep.
All right, last, I have to get this in because it's another Jimmy J. Voyager super chat. Thank you, Jimmy J. I'll see you tomorrow night, I hope. Says, hello, JP. Welcome back. Hope you whooped ass on the golf course. I did for 2 or 3 days. The last day was a disaster. Thoughts on the new Rays interior renderings? Looks beautiful. We haven't talked about this. So real quick, I thought it was awesome. And the whole concept is having an indoor stadium that feels like an outdoor stadium with air conditioning, right? Did they nail that? Palm trees, natural light. Hopefully we have the technology to have real grass. Hoping we can do that.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I know they do it for World Cup, but that's just a one-off, right?
Not going to happen.
But I don't know. I think we can do this.
It's not going to happen.
We'll see. But the whole concept of bringing the outdoors of Florida to the indoors of air conditioning is effing brilliant, and that's what they're going for. And to make it also an all-purpose indoor facility for concerts and everything else and conventions and whatever else they want to put in there, I think that's absolutely brilliant. and it's something that's needed moving forward for other events. We're going to be able to host so many incredible things, and that's going to bring tourism dollars and continue to put us on the map. And listen, we're growing anyway, so you want to be able to bring money in, and this facility is going to do that and attract people as an iconic structure. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's aspirational. It's visionary. It's all those things, and we can do it. We can do it, and we will do it. And I'm super excited, Jimmy J. All right, once again, tomorrow night, Kingmakers. Put the address in the comments. We'll put it out on social media today. All-Star Game watch party tomorrow night, hosted by Orestes Destrade. We're going to invite some other of his MLB friends. I will be there. Timmy will be there virtually. We'll have him there on the big screen virtually. How's that, Timmy?
I'll be drunk as hell. I can't wait.
Drunk in an Applebee's. Yeah, that'll be great.
I won't be at Applebee's. Too many women there.
So come on over, guys. Just email me, JP at the JP Peterson Show, and let me know you're coming. And all of the regulars that we have in here, you Petermans, I really want to see you tomorrow night. We'll give you Riveters wings. The beer will be flowing. We'll be watching All-Star Game. It'll be super fun. So please stop by. All of our advertisers, if you're a would-be advertiser, we would love to meet you. So just come on by. Again, JP at the JP Peterson Show. Let me know you're coming by, and we'd love to chat with you about.
Use it as a networking opportunity.
Yes,
networking.
You want to be part of the family? Come see our operation at Kingmakers. Is where where our studio is. So we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow during the day with the Big O Show and another JP Show. See ya.